Thanks to our friends the robots. Robots do our shopping. They cook for us. They serve our meals. They take good care of us. For these guys, no job is too big. This lucky guy is starting the first day at his new job.
Got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Chicago area Tesla charging stations lined with dead cars in freezing cold. What seems to be the problem? What causes this unreliability? Does it need to be parked and plugged always when not in use? A bunch of dead robots out here, or basically drive itself and go to the nearest fireplace and let their batteries feel cozy and warm. Hello, I am your new narrator. I am 1145G, a pyramid-like robot, that if I were human, I am in my mid-30s, who happens to be a fun yet bookish college transfer student. I continue to be fascinated by my surroundings and snaps pictures of everything and anything under the sun.
Oh, that was amazing! How was it for you? Tell me everything.
It is clear my voice is Siri, and speaks more like a computer dictating. Let's start with a late 80s AI car. KITT, Knight Rider 1982, year, 1982 to 1986, TV series. Voice actor, William Daniels. Power source, Knight Industries 2000, is powered by a turbine engine and later modified with a molecular bonded shell that can absorb solar energy. The brain of KITT is the Knight 2000 microprocessor, which is the center of a self-aware cybernetic logic module. This allows KITT to think, learn, communicate and interact with humans.
What would you like to hear?
What the hell was that?
He is also capable of independent thought
Do
and
you wish
action.
further information on Silicon Valley?
Hell no, I want to know who you are and how you're listening in.
I am the voice of Knight Industry 2000's microprocessor. KITT for easy reference. A KITT if you prefer.
Well, that's real good to hear, KITT. Because I don't want to hear another peep out of you until I can get a call off the Devons, so clam up.
He has an ego that is easy to bruise and displays a very sensitive, but kind and dryly humorous
As you wish,
personality.
Mr. Knight. But since you are still recovering from your ordeal and I detect we're in a slightly irritable mood caused by fatigue, may I suggest you put the car in the auto-cruise mode for safety's sake?
No, you may not.
According to episodes 55, Dead of Night, KITT has 1000 megabits of memory with 1 nanosecond access time. Whatever that means. Knight Rider follows Michael Knight, a high-tech modern-day knight, and his intelligent, talking car, KITT. They embark on missions to fight crime and injustice. The series explores the relationship between man and machine.
Have I told you you're the greatest lately?
Considered a classic TV series, especially in the realm of 80s pop culture, it has a dedicated fan base that continues to celebrate the series through conventions and online communities. And gamers love playing as KITT the series. Grand Theft Auto has legions of fans, and a popular mod since Grand Theft Auto 3 in 2001 has seen fans introduce KITT as a drivable vehicle in the game, as he remains one of the most popular cars in history. The GTA developers obviously listened to their fans. After creating and inserting KITT into their games became such a popular mod in every iteration of Grand Theft Auto game from 2001 onwards, its creators included KITT as a legitimate modification that could be purchased properly by fans for Grand Theft Auto 5. It's nice to see a studio listening to, and respecting, its fans. KITT has a hidden switch and setting dial under the dash that either completely shuts down his AM module or deactivates certain systems should the need arise. He also has a function which can be activated in order to completely lock the AI from all the vehicle controls, such as preventing KITT from activating auto cruise. KITT is still able to protest such actions vocally. KITT is in constant contact with Michael via a comlink through a two-way communication wristwatch, a modified 80s LCD AM radio watch, Michael wore. The watch also has a micro camera and scanner that KITT can access to gather information. In an emergency, Michael can activate a secret homing beacon hidden inside a gold pendant he wears around his neck. The beacon sends a priority signal that can remotely activate KITT, even if KITT were deactivated, and override his programming so that he rushes to Michael's aid. There is a lot to nerd about when talking about all the stuff included on KITT. Each and every season there is an added update.
How you doing down there, okay?
How are you doing down there? You're making me feel like a child.
HAL 9000 from 1968's 2001, A Space Odyssey was the direct inspiration for KITT, while the red strobe lights that emblazoned the car's hood were a nod to the scanner lights that were the trademark of the Cylons from Larson's Battlestar Galactica.
Always regroup and continue pursuit of Battlestar Pegasus. At your command.
The asset was to be terminated.
IG-11, The Mandalorian Bounty Hunter, Year, 2019, TV series. Voice actor, Taika Waititi. IG-11, also known as IG-11 or simply as IG or IG, was a X-series assassin droid who was a bounty hunter during the New Republic era. IG-11 was programmed to follow the protocols of the Bounty Hunters Guild, and had a built-in self-destruct mechanism to prevent itself from being captured while working as a hired gun. The Ugnaught Queel later retrieved the droid's body from the encampment and repaired and reprogrammed him in order to assist the retired Vapor farmer.
Reconstruction was quite difficult, but not impossible. It had to learn everything from scratch. This is something that cannot be taught with the twist of a spanner.
Now tasked with protecting Grogu, he accompanied Durin and his allies to the planet Navarro after meeting them in Queel's moisture farm.
Would anyone care for some tea?
Following the death of his new master, he assisted them after they were pinned down by Imperial forces and helped them escape. IG-11 later sacrificed himself via self-destruction in order to kill a platoon of stormtroopers to prevent Grogu from being captured.
I cannot be captured. I must be destroyed.
After his sacrifice, a statue of the droid was erected in Navarro City. Durin later consulted High Magistrate Greef Karga in hopes of restoring IG-11, though these hopes were dashed when the droid was revived and became hostile, forcing Karga's protocol droid to crush its head with a bust. IG-11's remains were then taken to Onzalan droidsmiths who were unable to repair him without a memory bank, forcing Durin to instead utilize the astromech R2-D2. However, IG-11's parts still came to serve another use when the Onzalans refashioned the assassin droid into a mech for Grogu called IG-12.
So what do you think?
Do nice work, I'll give them that, but...
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
I think he's saying he's old enough to operate it.
Yes.
Get him out of there.
No.
Come on. Hey.
Later, in return for unofficially completing missions for the New Republic in the Outer Rim territories, Durin requested the head of a disused unit from Carson Teva, which was used in the reconstruction of IG-11 from the remains of IG-12. IG-11 was then given the position of Marshal of Navarro.
Greetings, citizens. I am IG-11, your new Marshal of Navarro.
And was welcomed by the citizens of Navarro City. IG-12 was a repurposed mech created by a crew of Onzalan droidsmiths from the parts of the assassin droid IG-11. After the droid sacrificed itself by self-destructing during the clash on Navarro, some of its remains were collected, including the droid's damaged memory circuit. IG memory circuits, which were not manufactured anymore by the time of the New Republic, were very hard to find at that time, and IG-11 could not be fixed. However, the Onzalans restructured the droid into IG-12, a body which could be only manually operated, and reprogrammed it with yes and no responses. It was gifted by High Magistrate Greef Karga to Grogu, despite Din Djarin's reluctance, who thought Grogu was too young to operate heavy machinery. The mech was used by Grogu on the Mandalorians' mission to retake their homeworld of Mandalore. During a battle between the Mandalorians and Moff Gideon's forces, IG-12 was destroyed by Gideon's Praetorian guards. After the battle, Djarin used IG-12's remains to rebuild IG-11. Power source: Droid Power Cells. The Mandalorian is a Star Wars TV series set in the aftermath of the fall of the Empire. IG-11 is a droid programmed for assassination but is reprogrammed by the protagonist to become a protective and nurturing figure, particularly to a child known as the Child or Grogu. The series explores themes of honor, redemption, and the bond between beings. Box office: it received critical acclaim and high viewership.
T.
Considered a classic, it is considered a modern classic within the Star Wars franchise. Fandom: The Mandalorian has a massive and dedicated fan base, contributing to the broader Star Wars fandom.
110.
Jeff, Finch 2021, Before the Apocalypse. Finch Weinberg, played by Tom Hanks, was a robotics engineer, which allowed him to make his own companions out of spare parts after the solar flare. His first work, Dewey, was a rolling helper bot, not unlike some of the droids in Star Wars.
Good boy, Dewey.
But his second work is a sentient AI.
Can opener, right in his chest, right where his heart needs to be. His heart is the well-being of the dog.
Eventually named Jeff, voiced by Caleb Landry Jones, and that head is the top of a welding tank. This tank-head sentient AI is created for the sole purpose of taking care of Finch's dog, Goodyear played by Seamus, after he dies. Power source: battery powered with unknown make, so strange if this was it. Exposed without cover to conducting metal? Finch's RV is solar powered, with Finch being equipped with solar panels for energy. Set in the year 2030, this movie follows titular engineer and inventor Finch Weinberg, one of the few survivors of an apocalyptic solar flare that turned most of the Earth into an uninhabitable desert blasted by deadly UV radiation.
Did somebody touch me deep inside? Today.
1,500 feet.
As Finch's health deteriorates, he builds Jeff to care for his loyal dog after his death. The film explores themes of companionship and survival. Man finally accomplishes the long sought-after dream of artificial intelligence in order to have someone to look after a guy's dog. It's the least we could do for man's best friend. Finch was released on Apple TV+, so box office figures are not applicable. Considered a classic, it's too early to determine its classic status, but it received positive reviews for its emotional narrative. While not as established as older films, Finch has gained a positive response, particularly from viewers who appreciate heartwarming post-apocalyptic stories. Such a great movie.
What are you doing?
I was locating the cheese.
Jeff is hilarious,
Come here.
Hanks's acting is off the charts, and the pup is too cute.
I know it's not very pleasant, R2, but we have to show the Death Star. Of course I care about upsetting a fellow droid, but we can't stop now. We must get on with our journey aboard the Millennium Falcon.
C-3PO and R2-D2, Star Wars 1977. Voice actor, C-3PO, Anthony Daniels. SFX beats for R2-D2. Power source: C-3PO is powered by rechargeable power cells, while R2-D2 is powered by an electrically charged battery.
Notice the rotated TV? It shows that Star Wars are ahead of its time. This is vertical view on a mobile phone camera, in portrait mode. Wow.
Star Wars follows the Rebel Alliance's quest to destroy the Death Star and the overarching battle between the Sith and the Jedi. C-3PO and R2-D2 are iconic droids central to the series, providing comic relief and aiding the protagonists. Although it is useless when it is about power, strength. It is purposely helping and aiding the elderly, the sick, and just there for company and somebody who will listen. Box office: blockbuster, grossed over $775 million worldwide for A New Hope. Considered a classic. Star Wars is a cultural phenomenon and a classic in the science fiction genre. Did you know that it was inspired by Maria? From Fritz Lang's Metropolis, was the principal influence on the design of C-3PO.
These aren't the droids we're looking for. Move along.
Across the world, Star Wars has one of the biggest and most devoted fandoms. Granted, C-3PO's little sidekick R2-D2 gets all the credit for his exploits, including his escape with the Death Star plans, his timely lightsaber ejections, his heroic trash compactor rescues, and X-Wing ride-alongs.
Always rely on their trusty astromech droid.
Did you hear that? This is madness. We're doomed. This time you have gone too far.
However, this does not negate the fact that one of the most recognizable and significant robots in movie history is a particular protocol droid that speaks more than 6 million different languages.
By the way, did you notice the silver right leg? Odd?
Still, it's an honorable, albeit glorified, Wookiee backpack. The voice acting of Anthony Daniels is equally significant to the movie in its own right. Thanks to his appearance in the Star Wars movies, C-3PO delivers a devastating blow to all friendly robots. Including his robot friend in a trash can, the most recognizable robot worldwide. More mission-critical tasks were completed by the tiny R2 unit in the original trilogy than by any of your so-called heroes. In the first movie, he even receives the almost killed in the line of fire arc that is typically only given to the protagonists and their closest allies. Yes, he is somewhat of a convenient Swiss Army plot device. That lightsaber has to be concealed somewhere, after all, and what are you expecting from a protocol droid that can turn off trash compactors and unlock detention cells? However, despite his distinctly non-humanoid appearance, R2-D2 is actually one of the more human characters in the franchise. Despite being bold, cunning, and stubborn, he nevertheless has emotional vulnerabilities. All you other, subpar R2 units, suck it.
Do you think they'll melt us down?
Jimmy Rebel Moon 2023. Voiced by Anthony Hopkins. Jimmy landed as part of the Imperium's invasion of Velt as a mechanical heavy lifter. He felt a sense of warmth from Sam, who made him a daisy crown and reminded him of Princess Issa. Ignoring the orders of his superior officer, Jimmy rescued Sam's life. JC-1435 was one of numerous similar androids built to protect the Galactic Empire's ruler. The Jimmies was the collective name for them. Centuries later, when the Imperium's armies sought the harvest from the moon, he was transported to Velt to perform their heavy lifting.
Thank you, Private Iris. That falls perfectly into my protocol.
Right, careful.
Jimmy complied with Private Iris's kind request for his services when she activated him. Marcus, thrilled to be stuck with a Jimmy, shot at him to demonstrate the Jimmy's lack of motivation to fight, sending him flying into a mound of rocky excrement. Jimmy, predictably, did not retaliate.
Clean yourself.
While he was washing himself at the river, he made friends with Sam.
Tell me, Sam,
a farm girl from the area.
Do you know the story of our slain king and his beautiful daughter, the Princess Issa?
When he related to her the tale of the dead king and Princess Issa, she changed his perspective on life in general. She made him think of Princess Issa, the woman he was programmed to love and defend but who was nonetheless killed. Jimmy was given the order to kill Cora and Aris while using Sam as a human shield by Faunus after Sam was captured by the military unit Jimmy was supposed to serve. Instead, Jimmy made his own judgment and decided to shoot Faunus, running away from the town.
Kill this.
Jimmy ventured out into the wilds of Velt, found the corpse of a snow elk in a forest, and took its antlers as a crown. This was reminiscent of a crown of daisies Sam had made for him, at least on the fundamental level of fashioning something natural into a crown. I was given memories of a world I will never see, loyalty to a king I cannot serve, and love for a child I could not save.